We are live, ladies and gentlemen. The scene presents 94 Feet of Life, Lunchtime Edition. I am Germ So True alongside, we got Big Shot, we got Trav, we got Jay Ham. Fellas, let's get right down to it, y'all. I'm gonna start with you, Big Shot, right away. What are we looking for tonight and tomorrow for the culture? Because both of these series look just about.
Well, Boston got us a culture win on over the weekend. That was definitely a for the culture win because 3-0 is definitely the death nail. I think Boston figured out that we are the more talented team offensively. And we just got to play to that talent. So kudos to Boston. Denver, as Jay Ham alluded to, I'm gonna kick you over to Jay. I think the AD shot was the final nail. I think our Denver Nuggets experience is about to be over. But Jay, what you got?
What was after the end? Like you said it, I was like, yo, that's a wrap. Because it was so much that happened within that little frame. Just in the fourth quarter, them get back in it, 6 missed free throws, missed assignments on defense, turnovers, things of that nature. And they still was right there for the win. But you have that one more mistake that happened that way, and it's like, yo, one of the two dudes who can really overwhelm a team in that situation is AD, and he dropped you off like that, to put it away. And it was crazy because Jokic had the last 11 for Denver. AD had the last 10 for the Lakers. So it's like straight up sword fight going down. But you get to that point, man, it's just like, as I'm saying this, it's over. The last time I said it was over, it was down 3-1. I'm like, yo, it's a wrap. So
Right.
The culture may flip on us, who knows? Trav, man, what you got? What you think on it?
I'm on the same thing as you on, to be honest. I mean, as soon as we say they out, for some odd reason they pick it up. Did Denver find a way to come back? Yes, they did. PJ Dozier was a hell of a difference. Did he step up to the mic and sing when it was time to sing? No, he didn't. He pulled off a Jermaine. That didn't happen. But at the same time, that should tighten up. But did they find a way to come back and find a way to get back at the Lakers? Yes, they did. So this will be an interesting night tonight. If Denver don't get it this time, it's you can wrap this one up. And I'm not saying this because of what they have done in the past. This is just being realistic at this point because they're overwhelming them with their length and their size at this point. So, Jerm, talk to him, man.
Man, look, AD off the curl. It looked like game winning elevation. When I seen him go up, I said that form looked perfect. When I seen the ball released from his hand, I said that shot looked perfect. When that shot hit the bottom of the rim and went in, Ham texted the chat and said butter. And I said, baby. Look, I had to finish it for him. Listen, it's just AD is different. That man hit that. Listen, AD is probably one of the 3 players in the league that when you just look at him and his body of work and the things he can do on the basketball court, it's just unmatched. I mean, defensively, he can guard 1 through 5. It don't matter if it's Joel Embiid. It don't matter who it is. He can guard 1 through 5. It doesn't make a difference at all. Offensively, he got the handle of a guard to go along with the jumper and all of the mechanism and mechanics. And then got the nerve to have a turnaround jumper, a 15-footer, a floater in the lane, and then he can finish on the block on either shoulder, over either shoulder. That's as complete as it gets, ladies and gentlemen.
K-
Anthony Davis is who he is. Go ahead, Big Shot.
KD is at that level to me that Durant was about 2-3 years ago. Where this is where you just know when he gets the ball, it's a bucket.
It's time to boogie.
It's a bucket. Now, obviously, he's not the level of score that Kevin Durant is, but he's not too far below. He's walking in that same tier with the Kevin Durant, where his jumper is now like a thing. Like maybe 5-6 years ago, you played Anthony Davis for the jumper. Now you can't play him for the jumpers. So, Denver tonight. Denver, this is just purely for the culture. I don't think y'all gonna win the series. Yes, we've doubted y'all in the past. You can pull the receipts. It's cool. But just for the culture, Denver, just get us one. But I think LA is gonna win this series comfortably in 4 or 5. Switching over to the East and go down to J-Ham. Boston found them one, down 2-0, got back in the series. And was there anything different you feel, Jay, that happened in that game 3, or this just a team that they just played, or just to dumb it down, they just played better?
They played better that night, and through the playoffs, we hadn't seen Miami like stake the joint up. The one joint that they lost prior to was at game 3. They had to go to OT to get that one. And they came out the gate fast in that one as well. So they were due to just get beat for a night. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this proximity, at this stage of the bubble, the conference finals. Yeah. And Boston is a very good basketball team. Just calling it for what it is. Like you said earlier, Big Shot, I think that they do have the general, it's more talent on Boston. But, no disrespect to nobody in Miami, man, but I think the only thing tougher than the Heat in Miami is the Zopound game. That's just straight up. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes, they get after it, man. Pat Riley's a done. He's got his squad together. I'm still thinking, though, after we get past tomorrow night, we're going to be out of there, too, because that one's really going to be for the culture. I think that was going a distance. Just me personally. Trav, what you think, man?
Is Gordon Hayward that big of a difference to make Coach Stevens shorten that bench and to have them play that much better than they did the first 2 games compared to game 3? Yes. Yes, he is. Because he was playing number 37 and somebody else, and to be honest, they wasn't ready for the fight that Miami was bringing. Miami bringing the fight all 48 minutes. They're bringing it all 48 minutes. One slip up could make their day. So the thing about it is, I didn't even see Gordon Hayward put up the production, but he shortened that bench to the point to where everybody got their shots and everybody caught on the way they're supposed to catch on. Mm-hmm. But now this game, what's that, Wednesday? They play Wednesday?
Yep.
Gordon Hayward gonna have to put that ball in the bucket now. He's gonna have to put the ball in the bucket to make that a bigger difference. For the culture, yes, this is going 7. This is going 7. This is going 7. Jern, talk to me, man.
Hey, I'm gonna say this too, man. I think overall what we have here with this Boston series in general, just interesting. Just the one interesting thing. What happens is Gordon Hayward is at the top of the floor. When he's at the top of the floor and that free throw line to the 3-point line, when he gets in the middle of the basketball floor, that gives them another guy that can make the outlet passes and distribute the ball and get the ball into some of those spaces that Miami is building these walls, or for lack of better terms, defending these lanes very well. So when Miami goes into those zones that they go into for those stretches during the game, you can't go into a zone when Hayward's on the floor. Now, here's something interesting that I seen that I want to see for game 4. Just the lab in me seen this difference. Spo went with the other American white sniper with Tyler Hero and Jimmy Buckets at the same time with Hayward on the floor. Now, with Hayward on the floor, that gives Duncan Robinson somebody he could potentially guard, but that also could affect them on the offensive end because now that means whoever's guarding him is going to have to run around on those screens with him late in the game. So that could be something else we can look into for the future in this matchup. But I seen that adjustment that was made by Spo, and then we even seen Duncan playing some pretty good defense, competing. So these are things that I'm seeing. I'm really intrigued to see this. Big Shot, I'm gonna pass it to you, so we can get a little bit more in depth with a couple of your thoughts. But I just don't know exactly if this is something we're gonna see this tomorrow. But I thought that was an interesting adjustment in general moving forward.
Excuse me. What you see with Spoelstra, excuse me, is that he will adjust his game plan quarter to quarter. So something like that, throw out a zone, put out maybe a different lineup than he's played. He will throw that wrench in that monkey wrench in there and see if you can adjust to it. So what you're saying, Jerm, is true. I think what Boston, what now happens with them is I think Hayward is like an outlet. He's like the safety valve. If we're having trouble breaking the zone, you could bring Gordon to the middle of the floor, 6'8", good passer. He can kind of look over things. So I think what you might see Boston do is say, okay, let's not show him that zone too much more. Let's get back to that sticky man-to-man that we play on a string with maybe some little zone principles, and we can clog them up that way. But I think that pure zone, Miami might get out of. Just again, not show Boston the same thing too many times. But it's an interesting chess match, which I think why the culture, we're gonna get at least 6. I think Boston has at least another dub in them for sure. But yeah, I'm glad we gonna get to see that adjustment, that chess match. Fellas, let's go to something sort of related with both of these series. It's been talked about in our group, and we talked about this a little bit. Kemba Walker was sort of the target of late for his performances. Going back to the conference finals, Paul George was obviously one of many who got hit. So we're not going to just talk about Kemba Walker and Paul George. Just kind of talk about this in general terms. Are we as a basketball culture doing too much when it comes to slander or just criticism of players? Have we kind of reached, so Jay, I'm gonna start with you. Have we kind of reached that point where we got to start to check ourselves as a hoop culture?
I think we do. And the hardest part for the entire culture is the accountability. Ain't nobody gonna want to own up and be like, all right, I can fall back a little bit. I'm just trying to have a little fun. They actually try to attempt to justify some of this stuff. It's like you calling them man soft, you calling them, they just digging this stuff. It's like, you're not gonna say this stuff in this man's face. You know, even in the heat of competition, you probably won't, because he towering over you. You probably 5'10", 6 feet at best. This dude's 6'8" in shape. And it's like, you're not finna go there with that smoke with him. You can play tough. You know, the internet can make you feel comfortable to talk that, noise from the same spot. Everybody know that's the case. But it's one of those deals, man, where really that's like frontline stuff. You even go on Twitter, you go on IG, whatever it is, the frontline stuff is going to be slander. And some cats will try to fall back and be like, well, I really didn't mean it that way. Well, context is king. How you relate the information, more so is how you say it more so than anything. is more important, than just you actually saying it. But yeah, some of it is just like, it's too, I laugh at it, and y'all see me in the group. I pick it apart. I play with cats because of it, because it's like, do you realize what you're saying? And you feeling like this, wholeheartedly that this is how you feel. All right, just wait till your turn comes, because they're going to get you too. You ain't got to be in the sport for that to happen. Trav, man, fire off. I know you got some.
LeBron James once said after a fight, although I lost, this is unquoted, but this is basically what he said. Although I lost, when I wake up, I'm going to have a lot of money and I'm still going to be happy. While you just sitting there typing about me. It's a cold saying because it's kind of arrogant, but it's all facts. It's all facts. So when it's all said and done, you can talk about Paul George all you want. You can talk about Kemba Walker all you want. At the end of the day, when you look at that tax bracket, you are a lower tier, they are a higher tier, and they life, as long as they're complete with God and they understand that their money and value can do things that can make them happy, what you're talking about on the internet don't mean jack zip. It don't. So at the end of the day, keep talking. Y'all talking nonsense. It's irrelevant. Germ, what you got to say?
I just want the same energy to be given to one player that's given to another. Because a lot of y'all got y'all favorites, and what happens is when somebody it doesn't help y'all favorite player out, or when somebody challenges y'all favorite player. Let me take the hoodie off so y'all can see my face when I say this. And then on top of y'all do that, all that extracurricular BS and nonsense that y'all like to do. And then when I come in, I say, well, hey, did you give this person the same energy? And you say, no, but it's different. And you try to make all this other stuff. So from this point forward, when I see y'all with player slander, I'm just going to ask y'all one question. And after that question, my phrase shall be, nah, I'm good. I'm not having this conversation no more, bro. That's it. Nah, I'm good. I'm not having a conversation about Kyrie no more because he's still one of the 5 coldest dudes with the basketball, especially offensively in basketball. It's not a question. I'm not having KD slander. I'm not doing Kawhi. We definitely not doing Kawhi slander. The slander for Kawhi was really unwarranted. The man been consistent. He been consistent a whole lot. And a lot of y'all is bronze sexual behaviors that cause a lot of these different issues that we have in the world today. So I'm gonna need for y'all to go ahead. The Mike apologists, the bronze sexual behaviors. Shout out to Bean. Bean was my guy when he was playing. But at the same time, I was always objective about Bean. Always gave Bean his criticism. All these players are human, so they're imperfect. That's all I need to say. But remember, when in doubt, nah, I'm good.
Get the merch. Yeah, I think everybody wants their 2 cents. I think we live in a world where, let me be the most controversial, or let me be the funniest, or let me be the smartest. And I think there's room for all of it. I just think, as Jay talked about, context is key. I think a player's game is absolutely on limits for anybody. And there's legitimate basketball criticism of Paul George. There was legitimate basketball criticism of Kemba Walker. But then it just goes a step too far. It just goes that where, like, you going 70 on the freeway, let me go 75. Now let me go 80. Okay, now you're doing 85. Now you're going to get pulled up. So I think there's a there's a really big difference to me of criticism and slander. And I think we have gotten to a place where the troll and the slander is now seen as substance conversation when criticism is not. And that's something that in 94 feet, or just in general, when you're talking hoops with your people, y'all, you want to throw a joke in, cool. But no, there's a big distinction between criticism and slander. A big distinction between the two. And, be a better hoop fan. Still have your opinion, still tell your jokes, but there is a line with everything. Fellas, we got about 10 minutes left. So the next season, and this shows you how we, in this pandemic world and the time, there's no such thing as time. So the November 18th is the draft. The talk is already being in the bubble. The finals must end by October 13th, no matter what. So Jay, Trav, I'm gonna let y'all hop in on this one. We do have to kind of think about these things because it's right around the corner.
Around the corner, man.
Right around the corner. What do you think will be the biggest impact of what's likely going to be a very shortened offseason?
Load management. You ain't gonna have no choice. I mean, we talked about this even, just in our group chat. Just the mental aspect that they have right now being in the bubble. And then the fatigue that's coming with that as well. Coming right out of that, okay, if you got eliminated early, you got your time off. But these four that's left, to get out of it, they pretty much gonna spend, 3-4 months in the bubble itself. And then go back into a normal as possible routine at home. But there is no offseason. If we're going right into the draft in November, the latest thing that I heard as far as the new season will be Christmas Day at the earliest. That's still not far away. We still at the end of September. We're talking about new campaign starting up Christmas Day, and this one's not even done. I think that you're going to see some load management from cats like Braun. You're going to see it from Kawhi anyway, because Kawhi ain't never played 82. You're going to see it from more of your stars, especially rolling over to the new year, and which kind of gives way to some younger guys to start the year and get things going just within that. But I'm almost afraid of a basketball overload just for us. Well, not just for us, but for them too. But it's just like, is this too much too quick? That'd be my biggest question going on that. Trav, what you think?
I want to kick this over to Trav and Germ. Well, certainly both hop in. We've seen this in the NFL where, yeah, there's some bad luck involved, certainly, but there have been a lot of injuries early. We're talking about an NFL that had a very different preseason than what they normally have. And I was thinking about this with the NBA. If this finals ends the way it's supposed to, the draft, you might not have a preseason. You might just like, hey, y'all got to show up to work around Thanksgiving. Y'all got 3 weeks to get ready, and then we're going to start hooping. So, Germ, Trav, the consequences that Jay talked about of more basketball in a short amount of time, what do you think teams are going to be thinking as they kind of create these rosters for next year, knowing we're going to be on we on a short turnaround?
Load management. Bottom line, load management. Week 2 of the NFL showed, we don't need no preseason. We don't need that. Your preseason sped up to week 2. Your preseason sped up to week 2. Now look at your roster. That's going to be the same. Basketball is looking at this. They're going to learn and they're going to understand, hey, some of these games ain't going to be looking like what they used to be. You ain't going to be seeing your superstars like you used to see them because a lot of them don't invest in their body like they're supposed to. So again, the load management is very key. coaching gonna really be coaching because the simple fact you need to sit down one of your key players on a key game and still have your team win. So the load management is key. Y'all talk about it. Y'all talk bad about it. Talk bad about load management. Now look at you. You got to respect it now. You got to respect it now, Charlie. You got to respect this load management now, man.
I'm gonna say this too, and then we're gonna get to the comments before we get ready to wrap up the show. Depth. This is where depth comes into play. So these teams and these squads like Denver that you see that can play 12 people, we're gonna see a lot more cats get opportunities. A lot of these younger teams, man, let these young dudes hoop. That's why they on the bench. I think moving forward and moving toward this new era of basketball that we're gonna be moving toward, I think depth on your bench is gonna be vital. I think number two, with the season starting a little bit later, especially with it starting during the time that it's starting right now, which is going to be potentially Christmas Day, you're going to see a lot more teams focusing on making sure that they're prepared for the long grind of the season.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be that we're not doing it the same way that we've been doing it. We're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to tweak a couple of things, more depth, like I said before, like we've all alluded to. Young hoopers should get more opportunities. Coaching is going to be king, a little bit more important, which I think when you run an 8-man rotation in general, I think it does take the beauty of coaching out of the game a little bit. Now that we're getting some of those things out the way and we starting to just let the talent go and do what the talent does, now we get to see really what a lot of these coaches are about, because we have to get them and the coaches have to expand on their rotations. So moving forward, I'm looking forward to the new trends. I think these young coaches, I think Big Shot and everybody agree with me. These young coaches got a lot of stuff that they will be able to do, especially as these rosters continue to mature with these young hoopers. Because that's the whole purpose of why we replenish every year and get new hoopers, right? Because it's gonna be new stars. Let's do a couple of these comments. Shout out to KG, Leon, Danielle. We got Jorge, and let's see, anybody else? And Blackstock in the comments here. Basically, KG started with fellas. Leon said Kobe. We got Trav in the comments too. Trav pulling double duty today. All right, I see you, my guy. Leon said, yo, he said, bro, on that play, LeBron or AD is not getting the ball from me. On getting the ball on him. I understand why.
Now.
He said, so what's the narrative for Denver if they do it again? Even though we know it's probably not going to happen. It was no narrative to begin with. We don't have to put a narrative. They just hooping. They taking it.
Right. Yeah,
taking it.
Denver's playing, I hate to say house money when you in the conference finals.
It's house.
But really it's house money.
Yeah, they wasn't supposed to be here. They were supposed to have been done. They're supposed to be done 3 weeks ago.
They're supposed to be done 2 weeks ago.
Them folks having fun. Them folks having fun playing their horse maneuver, man.
And that ain't like they were supposed to have been done just on paper. It's like, yo, y'all straight Joe.
Look, Denver had their hotel rooms packed 6 times.
6-0.
6 times the rooms were packed.
If Denver win tonight, they 7-0 in elimination game. No, this is an elimination game because they lose tonight.
This is no. He's right.
The mental elimination.
This is
after that, you may as well go on and bubble wrap. Yeah. I will pack your bags with bubble wrap, like my guy Jim Carrey said.
Let me get the cheap plug in for my folks in the comments. Keep them notifications on. Keep them on. The word on the street is Mo got some football talk for y'all in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So if you locked in with us, stay locked in, charge your phone, notifications on, We got a week 2 NFL breakdown coming down the pike in about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So stay locked in with us. Cheap plug for views from the 22. Cheap plug for the merch.
Man, we got so much merch now. It's starting to get.
Hey,
It's starting to get.
the merch.
If y'all wearing merch from Nike these days, look, this hoodie. Oh, I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna burn this hoodie. Once I get 2, I'm gonna purchase 3 more sweaters from MJ. Then I'm burning all Nike merchandise in my house. I have no use for it.
That's
I
right.
ain't gonna burn mine because I got mine in the Nike giveaway. It was free anyway.
Oh, okay. Hey, now I'm on load
There you
management
go.
with Nike. I'm on load management with Nike. I ain't playing with
That's
these.
So we gonna sign out. But remember, this is the scene. Subscribe to the channel. Notifications on. Tag a friend. Tell a friend. We're gonna be back with you in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, talking week 2 of the NFL because there's a whole lot to discuss. I can't wait for it. I'm gonna have them in the background here at the JOB. Big Shot, Jay, Germ, Trav. This is 94 Feet of Life. Stay tuned.